Welcome to our webinar, Blogging with Website Builder. My name is Shelby, and this is Robin, our resident blog guru, who will be showing you how to use our website builder tools to create a blog that not only has great SEO content, but one that is aesthetically appealing as well. So thank you for joining us, and let's get started.
Hi everyone, so what we've done today, since we're focusing on the blog portion of our webinar builder, is we've already gone ahead and created a website builder in advance. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here and get started. So we've logged into our account, and under the website builder tab is where you can actually edit your blog. So let's check out our homepage here. So since our blog is going to have quite a lot of text, we've focused on images for our homepage to kind of introduce you to our blog. Now, as you can see, our blog is focused on travel. We thought that'd be kind of a fun subject, and it also lends itself really nicely to good content for your blog as well as good images. So as you can see, we've got several different images to kind of introduce you. We've got some top vacation destinations that we're going to focus on in our blog: Europe, South America, North America, and Asia. Now right here in the Europe section, we've got a gallery that's showing, and it's automatically scrolling through these pictures. And we'll show you a little bit more about this gallery function once we add some blog posts. And then down here, we just sort of categorize some of these photos into different sections. So it kind of gives you a taste of what you're going to be seeing on our blog. Now, real quick, I wanted to go over a little bit of information about some of the design we've chosen with our fonts. So we recommend sticking with between 2 to 3 fonts with really any website, not just a blog. So we've got this font here is a little bit different than this font, but they still kind of go together pretty well. So you don't want to go too crazy with your fonts. You want to stick with, again, 2 to 3, and you want them to kind of go together. And the same goes for your colors. So we've got a nice white here. We've got white here as well. This is kind of a lighter gray and then a darker gray, almost a black. So we've chosen 3 main colors to stick with. They all go together pretty nicely. And so it's not too crazy. And that's kind of what you want to stick with, again, for really any website. So since you don't necessarily have a lot of font that you're using, one thing you can do to kind of create some variation on your website is you can use all caps, as we've done here, versus all lowercase, as we've done here, versus more of a normal option where you've got capitalization at the beginning of the sentence and lowercase everywhere else. So that you can kind of play around with that to kind of create more variation in your blog. Let's jump over to our contact page here. So with our contact page, we've kept things really simple. With your blog, I think it's nice to have a contact page. That way people can get in touch with you. If they have any questions, maybe they want to do a guest post on your blog. So this allows us to, this contact form here, which is actually this that we've just dragged in, allows you to have a way for people to contact you without actually putting a bunch of your personal information up. So this is especially great if it's going to be a personal blog. So as you can see, we don't have any of our own information, such as our own email, our own phone number, etc. So this actually will just link up with the email in your Dynadot account. So it's a really easy way to add a way for someone to contact you while keeping your information private. And then as you can see, we've done a really nice image here, links back up with our travel theme, and then just a catchy little phrase. So let's go ahead and jump into our blog page here. So as you can see, we've got a nice header image that we're starting our blog with. And you can kind of play around with the different sizes here. We can remove it all together. We can do a shorter version. And as you can see, it's adjusting that text as well as we go through these. We can do a little bit bigger, or we can stick with the landing that we originally had. So we'll go ahead and stick with that. Now we do already have a post set here. We've gone ahead and created a post about top 3 trending vacation destinations. So this is a pretty typical blog post that you see a lot. It's sort of in a list format. It's a great way to catch people's attention. People really like lists. It's also a nice way to sort of categorize your information. And it lends itself well, again, to adding in some nice images to sort of break up the text. So as you see, we've got 3 locations here. We have Australia, we have Japan, and we also have Iceland. And then each section or each item on our list has a nice image to go with it. Now over here, this is our sidebar. And as you can see, there's a section here that says blog sidebar. And we do have our categories, our tag list, and our archive already there. Now, this sidebar is actually not limited to just these three things. You can actually add any of these items here to the sidebar. So one thing that I might recommend for a blog is adding in a search bar here. And as you can see, this has a star here, and what this star means is that it is an upgrade. So this is an upgraded feature, and since we are using an upgraded Pro plan for our blog today, we're going to go ahead and add this right over here. So now someone can come and search your blog, find the post that they're looking for. It's just a nice feature to add to your blog. Another thing that we might consider adding over here is maybe just a little bit of space in between each little section here, just so it's a little bit more readable. There we go. So let's go ahead and save our changes. And before we jump into adding more blog posts, I want to go ahead and talk about some of our blog settings. So these are the settings for the blog page itself. And as you can see, there is a navigation title here at the top. So this is going to be that title at the top of the page where it says Home, Blog, and Contact. Now with the navigation title, you want to keep it simple. It should tell people what the page is that they're visiting. You can certainly change it to something else, but we're going to stick with blog and keep it simple today. The page title is where you can add in those additional keywords. So we've added in travel, we've added in tips and info, we've added in some of the locations that we're talking about. And this page title is the one that appears at the top of the browser window. So that's where this says site building here. And that's also great for SEO. So Google and Bing and other search engines are going to pick up on these keywords here. So this is our header image that we had already talked about. That's where you add it. Each page on your site can have a different header image. And then description, URL, and thumbnail image. And you're noticing a couple more down here. These all have those stars again. So those mean that these are only available with an upgraded plan. So the description, that goes back to SEO as well. So when someone searches for your blog, they're going to see this description that you've created here in their Google search results. So that's a great way to add in, again, some more keywords and some more information to sort of entice people to actually click through to your blog. Now the URL you can change with the upgraded plan. The only thing I would say about that is if you're going to change it, make sure you change it before you've really published your site, and especially if you've actually been putting your links out on social media and other places. Once you do that, if you change this link, it's actually going to break all of those, and there is just a little message here about that. So just be aware, if you do want to change it, I would just change it as soon as possible and then make sure that you don't touch it again. So our thumbnail image, this goes for social sites. So as you can see down here, this says include share buttons at the bottom of your blog post. This is a great way to make it easy for people to share your posts. And this kind of goes hand in hand with that. So when someone shares your post on Facebook, you can add in this specific image that it will share on Facebook for you, as opposed to maybe pulling in several images that are on your page. You can control which image is going to be shown. Now you can choose to hide this page in the navigation menu, so it would not show at the top. We're not going to choose that today because we only have 3 pages and our blog is our sort of main page on the site. You can also prevent search engines from indexing the page, so this might be useful if you want to keep your blog a little bit more private. You can also disable the page. So if you're still kind of working on the page, it's not quite ready to be published, you can disable it so that it's not showing on your site quite yet. Now, we've got a couple of options down here. We can adjust how many posts there are per page. So with this, we're going to go ahead and stick with 5. But I do want to say if you're going to go with 10 to 15, I would recommend using the excerpt function, and that's going to be within the blog post itself, and we'll show you that in a couple more minutes. I'll talk more about it. We're going to keep our comment default to on. This is something that you can also change within each individual blog post. So for example, if you want to have a post where you have the comments turned off, you can do that within the post. A couple of just date options down here. You can select your time zone and then your default author name. So this will just print it with every post you do. That way you don't have to enter your name with every single post you do. But again, this is something you can also change within an individual post. So for example, if you've got a guest blogger. Now, Discus is our partner for comments. So if you do want to have comments on, you'll just need to create a free account with them. It's very easy. Once you do that, it's going to come up with several different options for how to install it, and it'll have lots of instructions, and it looks a little confusing. But we actually set up something so it's very easy. All you need to do is enter in your short name, which for us is Dynadot. And then once you do that, you'll see the save button appear here at the top. Hit save, and that's it. You don't have to do any other things to get it to work. So we'll go ahead and close this. And let's go ahead and add our next blog post. So here we're going to go hit add post. And the first blog post that we're going to add is actually going to be a podcast. So if any of you are travel fans, you've probably heard of Rick Steves. He's pretty popular in the blog world, or in the travel world, sorry. And he's got a lot of great podcasts. So instead of making our own podcast, which probably would not have been quite as good as his, we decided to go ahead and just add his in here instead of our own. So we're going to go ahead and drag it down here, and we're going to upload his podcast. So as you can see, he's talking about skiing in the Alps, which sounds like a pretty fun trip. So we'll go ahead and put that as our track title, and then Rick Steves is our artist. So you can choose to loop this if you want, so that would make it play over again, and then you can choose how many times you want it to play. You can also choose an infinite number of times, but we're going to go ahead and just stick with none for today and hit save. Oh, whoops. Okay, grab the wrong file there. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our draft, and then we'll take a look at the post options. So the post options, as you can see, have a couple of things that we just talked about in the blog settings. Again, you can adjust the comments, turn them on or off. There's also a thumbnail image option, and this image option is actually for this post. The other one we just talked about is for the main blog page. Again, you can also enter in a new author name, for example, if it's a guest post. And the excerpt function is what I had just talked about. So we're going to go ahead and do that for this one. So we're going to check that box. And then we're going to just put in a short little intro to kind of show you what that looks like. There we go. And then we'll also add some categories and some tags. So your category is going to be kind of a nice way to help people find different posts and kind of categorize the different blog posts that you'll have. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and say podcasts. And then we're also going to say Europe. And then your tags is where you can add in a lot more keywords. So we're going to do Rick Steves for one of our tags. We can do Alps. And then we can also do skiing. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. And we'll publish. And then we'll go back to our main blog page here. So as you can see, we've got our post right here. And you can see it's just got this little intro paragraph. So this is the excerpt that's showing here. And then there's a link to view that full article. So as you can see, it looks very different than our original post here, which has just the full post showing on the main page. It's quite a bit longer. And again, if you are gonna up the number of posts on this page to maybe 10 or 15, I think the excerpt might be a little bit cleaner, so the page isn't quite so long. And of course, this is a pretty short excerpt that we've added here. But you can certainly do a longer one if that's what you prefer. So let's go ahead and add in another post here. So we're going to feature a video in this post. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag in the video. We're going to do it right here at the top. So we've got our URL from YouTube, and you can also use a URL from Vimeo as well as other video sites. And you can also do a custom thumbnail. So this would change the image that YouTube sort of chooses to show. but we're going to go ahead and just stick with whatever YouTube chooses. Now this one is called The Bus Ride. This is actually a guest post from one of our graphic designers here at Dynadot. He traveled to Mexico and made a really interesting video sort of taken from the point of view of a local there in Nayarit, Mexico. It's actually a really cool video. If you want to check it out after the blog, we'll actually have it up on our website. So let's go ahead and take a look at the post options again. And we're going to go ahead and put in Aaron Alvarado as the guest poster there. So we'll go ahead and add in some more categories. So this one's going to be North America. And then it's also going to be a video. So we're going to add in videos as one of our new categories. Now for tags, we can add in Mexico. Oops. And we can add in hostels, just some keywords from the actual post. So we'll hit save and publish, and we'll head back to our main page here. So as you can see, it has automatically added in those new categories that we created, as well as the new tags. And both of these are defaulted to be in alphabetical order. So as you can see, it also changed the author name up there, which is different than this post down here. Okay, so we've got one more post to add. And in this post, we're going to go ahead and... Sorry about that, mail just arrived. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add in our final post here. Now, if any of you are travel fans, you probably have a couple of locations on your list. I actually have Nepal on my list, and I was lucky enough to get to travel there last year. So I was going to add in a couple of really nice photos from my trip using the gallery feature here. So we're going to go ahead and drag that in, and we'll upload our images. Okay, so we've got 5 different images that we can upload all at once, and it'll take just a second here for them to appear. I'll just move this over so you can see what this looks like here. So we've got a couple of different design options. Now again, the gallery is what we saw on our homepage with the Europe photos that we're sort of scrolling through. So we've got the slideshow option, and that's what we were using in our homepage. So we've got slideshow. We also have a carousel, which looks a little bit different. You can kind of see some of the other images on the side there. We have a grid. We also have a stacked option. And then as I'm clicking through, you're seeing that there's also other options that are popping up. So why don't we choose a carousel, since that looks a little bit different. And we can choose to show the slider controls or not. And we can also do an auto slide. And then you can choose, so this is 5 seconds between each image. And as you can see, we'll just automatically scroll through those images for anyone that lands on your blog. So we'll go ahead and save that. And then I've just got a little bit more information to kind of finish up this blog down here. So we will add a new section of text. And I will just add in my conclusion. There we go. And we'll save the draft, and we'll check out these post options. Okay, so let's add in our categories here. So this is about Asia. And we're also going to say our top travel. Okay, and let's just add in a couple of tags here. So we can add in Nepal. We can add in trekking. Okay, and we will save and publish, and we'll go back. And again, you can add in as many categories and tags as you want. We're just adding a couple here just to kind of keep it simple. But it's really up to you how many categories and tags you want to create for your blog. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our post up all set, and it is scrolling through those photos. And we've got all of our other posts up as well. So this is actually the last post that we're going to be adding today. Hopefully we've kind of shown you a couple of different options for the different posts that you can add and how easy it is to just sort of drag and drop these different things in here. Now, real quick, I did want to talk about the publish button. So we, of course, just published this last post here, but there is also a second publish button, and that's right over here. So the buttons are similar. They do really similar things. However, this button over here is going to be your publish for your main site. So any changes you make on these different pages here, that's where you're going to want to be clicking publish once you're ready to see those on your website. The publish that's within these blog posts here is for when you're ready to publish that particular blog post. So they both work kind of the same way, but they also allow you to take your time on a blog post, for example, and also take your time on creating your website as well as a new page on your website. Now, we actually do have a domain associated with our website, but I wanted to show you real quick just how easy it is to do that. So we'll go over here to domain. So every one of our website builders includes a subdomain, and it's just automatically site builder with the number of your site builder. You can also customize this, or you can connect a domain you own. Now, all you have to do for this is just have the domain in your account and then just enter it in here and hit apply. That's it. I will let you know that it will not be an instant connection. It does take a little bit of time for all of the systems to update, and that is typical really with any change you make to a domain. However, we've gone ahead and we've connected our domain dynadot.live to our blog in advance. So it is actually already here on our dynadot.live site, as you can see. And we'll go ahead and visit our blog page. And you can see, since we have published each of these blogs, they are already up on our website. So as we mentioned in the beginning, we are giving away free .live domains. So I just want to talk a little bit about why we chose .live for our blog. So .live is a newer domain extension that's recently come out, and it's really focused on sort of in-the-moment experiences. And we really felt like travel is kind of like that. You know, travel is really all about the experiences. So we thought that would be a good match. Now, the other thing that you may want to consider .live for is if you're doing a blog where you're focusing on current events, or you're focusing on trending topics, or maybe you're going to be featuring live videos or live podcasts. Now, again, we'll go ahead and send out a coupon for free .live, so you can go ahead and try that out and see what you think about the domain. And then the last thing that I just want to say before we have questions is remind you to go ahead and create your website builder with our blog and send that in to us for a free t-shirt. So again, we will send out all of this information in our follow-up email, as well as the link to our recording of this webinar. So I'll go ahead and take questions if anyone has any. And thank you all so much for joining us today. Okay, looks like we have a question here. So this person is asking if they don't have a domain name registered with Dynadot, can they still use our website builder? So yes, you definitely don't need to have a domain name to use our website builder. Again, we do have that custom subdomain option if you don't want to use an actual domain. So what you could do is you could change, the site builder with those numbers to something like, Robin's blog or Dyna Travel, and then it would be robinsblog.dynadot.com. You may want to consider, though, registering a domain with us. It just looks a little bit more professional. As much as we love having Dynadot as part of your website's branding, it's just a little bit nicer to have sort of your own chosen domain with your website. Oh, someone is asking about how to change the font size, and font color. So let me pull back up our blog here. So we've got our style editor tool that's right here under this little design section. And we did do a recent webinar on our style editor, so I recommend you check that out. And we'll include that in our email as well with more information about how to reach that. But this section down here, content, is where you're going to be focused on with the blog. So as you can see, as I kind of hover over it, it's showing you kind of where the things are that you would be changing. So this header 3 is your different headers, as you can see, are highlighted here, the title of your blog, as well as categories, list, and archives. And then this is going to be your main text, and this is links. So you can sort of adjust your font, you can adjust different weights and styles, as well as the color. So all of that's going to be within the style editor here. Okay, it looks like we have a question about how to add a YouTube video to your blog post. So we did add that YouTube video to our post about the bus ride. So within YouTube, you'll be able to click on share, and that will go ahead and give you that link that we entered in here. So this link right here. So there'll be a share function there, and you'll be able to select that link, and all you have to do is just copy and paste it right in there and hit save, and it will just upload that video right there for you. Someone's also asking about Discus. So Discus, again, is our partner for our comments. You can create a free account with them. You just have to visit discus.com, and that is disqus.com. And then once you do that, again, all you have to do is just enter in that short name that you select, and it will automatically connect up, and you'll be all set to have comments on your blog. Okay, well, it looks like we're at our half-hour time slot, so I just want to thank everyone so much for joining us